Narcissistic people bad people? My answer is this: it's the wrong question.
Lundy Bancroft, in his book, Why Does He Do That?, addresses this exact same topic. Men or women, I'm going to be diplomatic here, are abusive and narcissistic and toxic, not because they're bad people, but because they have an abuse problem, which is why it's really hard for folks out here to completely vilify the narcissist, because we do have those tender moments and we do have those sweet moments. Often we can detect in them where their pain is coming from. We can understand them so well that we give them so much allowance and so many chances because we think they're not bad people. Surely they can't be completely horrible. They can't be absolute abusers. Like, they're not like one of those guys. They're actually a nice person. They are just confused and they're struggling because they have so much trauma. And so we give them so much room to abuse us. In that book, Lundy Bancroft's book, he talks all about the main reasons why people are abusers or why they have an abuse problem. It goes back to society. It goes back to the water that they are swimming in. It wasn't until the actual 1970s and as early as the 1990s, as recent as the 1990s, that domestic abuse of a woman was criminalized. In fact, before that time period, it was looked at as a way to control your woman and to keep order and control within the household. Our very institutions have not protected women, and family structures on the micro level reflect this. How many of us know of our own parents, their parents, our friends' parents, where there was abuse in the household, or where women were talked down to, or where men lorded over women? It is in the water that we swim around in, and these men were born and raised in that environment. It is not something that we can undo. It has been with them since they were born, since the inception of civilized society. It's glorified in culture. It's glorified in movies and in books and in songs. Think about Eminem's song Kim. He goes into great detail in that chapter. At the end of that book, he talks about that song. I didn't know anything about that song, but basically it's about Eminem killing his wife, strangling her, stuffing her in the trunk, all the while abusing their children and using their children as pawns to further hurt and terrify her. You can actually hear noises in the background of her being choked. Obviously, these are sound effects for a fictional song, but the fact that he won a Grammy for that album tells you about our society and what it thinks about violence against women. Point is, they have an abuse problem, and we need to accept that. And it doesn't matter if they have redeeming qualities because they're abused.